Well, the paranormal we first talked about. So Scott Wise, the next first guess is the true architect of nightmare and illusion, a master of practical effects, visual design, and cinematic transformation from blood-soaked horror to surreal, otherworldly visuals. Just as screen it calls under skin stays there. Welcome, Joe.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for having me on the show. How you
Yeah,
doing today?
I'm doing all right.
All right. That's good.
Yeah, crazy weather. One day it's 32 and next is 70.
Oh wow, wow. Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you located?
Ohio.
You're in Ohio, and
Yeah.
I'm in Los Angeles. It's been pretty good weather over here. It's a little chilly in the evening sometimes, but it's
Oh,
good. Yeah, it's good.
oh, it's chilly there, Finley.
It's yeah, between 50 and 60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that weather over there here. Maybe warmer. Oh, wow. So, when you first started off, what first got you into the world of special effects and
Uh,
horror?
that's a great question. What got me into special effects, the world of horror? Basically, when I was like your average kid, I liked dinosaurs and dragons and monsters growing up. And then, one day my dad sat me down in front of the television and he said, "Son, watch this. You're going to love it." And my dad was my biggest supporter growing up. And it was Saturday afternoon, like 1 in the afternoon. Back in the day, they used to have this thing on called Creature Features, and it was in San Antonio. And it was like, on a Saturday afternoon they'd play, a Universal monster movie or a Godzilla film or something like that, old Roger Corman movie, and that's what it was. It was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
uh,
And my dad knew that.
where am I?
Yeah, I was 7 years old, and I watched that film by myself, sitting there in the living room, and my mother had gone away on a trip. I believe my brother was away as well, my older brother. So I just sat there and watched it. And when it was over, like it was like the first time I really had ever escaped from the life that I was living in South Texas. And I grew up. I had everything. I had everything I needed growing up, but I grew up in a very traumatic, broken household, and so it was like literally the first time I had ever escaped from the pain and suffering that I endured on a day-to-day basis. And it was wild. This movie like literally made me feel amazing. And when it was over, I asked my dad. It's like, "Dad, how do they do that? How they do that stuff?" And he's like, "That's special effects, son." And so I told my dad, I said, when I grow up, I want to be a special effects artist. That's pretty much where it all began. I don't think I ever looked back from that moment on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think back when I was just messing around with it. Um, when I first started, you ever take gelatin and use that?
Say that again.
You ever take gelatin?
Gelatin.
You ever use that?
Have I ever used gelatin? Yes. Yeah. You mean in special effects?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day,
Yeah,
yeah, back in the day, we used gelatin I use it for exploding heads, or, it makes good burn. It's good for burn makeups.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. But a spirit gum, I always hear it that, that's not nice.
Spirit gum. Yeah, that was the first adhesive that I was introduced to. Yeah,
Yeah,
prosthetic adhesive back in the day.
you
Like,
get high on that.
I get high. Yeah, no, I never got high on spirit gum, but I remember it was super sticky and it's just
That's super cool.
very, very uncomfortable. I don't like glue on my skin. I just if I can do a makeup effect without using glue on the actor's skin, I'll do that.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of advances in special effects makeup nowadays, and you don't need to use all that old stuff that's super toxic and super hazardous for your skin. I mean, growing up, my whole intention was to have fun and make monsters, and wearing heavy makeup effects can be very uncomfortable, and it's difficult having to put somebody into makeup knowing they're going to be uncomfortable for 5, 6 hours or however long I have to wear it, and I prefer to make them as comfortable as possible. So I try to use a
Right.
lot of state of the art stuff to do that with.
Well,
Yeah.
imagine somebody that has on something.
Say that again.
A lot of stuff is mechanized there too, right? I mean,
A lot of stuff is what were you saying?
mechanized.
Like mechanical, is you saying like
Yeah,
mechanized?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a whole other, thing altogether, like a creature head or something like that. A mask is fair. I try to make the mask as comfortable as possible, roomy and this kind of thing. And now with computer generated effects, you don't really need a mechanical mask. You could animate it slightly using visual effects. Whenever I do, creature eyes blinking, instead of having mechanics in a mask the actor has to wear on their head, I would just do it using visual effects. Or if I have to make the monster's mouth open and close, I'll puppeteer it in a close-up shot or something like that, just to kind of get that effect across. It can be done with mechanics, and people still like to use a lot of mechanics, but a mask can be very heavy if it's a mechanical mask, and it depends what do you have time for. How much you really want to put into the piece. Nowadays, when they show a creature, sometimes it's just for a split second.
right.
So it's not really, that's something that can be easily animated, and cost efficient would be to do it in visual effects. But there's many different ways to do it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can decapitate me anytime.
Uh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Give me a minute.
One minute.
Yeah. I said you can decapitate me anytime.
Oh, he decapitates you. Yeah. 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 Well. Yeah. I love doing decapitations. It's like one of my specialties, and it depends how much the movie wants to show of it, and how much time we have, and
Yeah.
if the actor's willing to sit and have a live cast of them done, and
I do
I
that.
can
You
right
do
on.
that.
Yeah, I prefer making an actual live cast of an actor if I'm going to do a decapitation,
Yeah.
and I can probably have the person in and out of the live cast in about 15 minutes. I can do one in about 15 minutes.
So do you
Uh,
your little nose holes then so they can breathe?
Yeah, well, I normally make them breathe through their mouth when I do it. I don't put nose holes in it, and I have my own way of doing it. It works really well, and I've gotten pretty good over the years. I've probably made over 100 life casts throughout my career, and yeah, it's just something that I've become very prolific at, and I like to do it in a way that's comfortable for the actor and make sure to get them in and out. And as long as you got a good mold, you can make a really good head. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
So what do you remember the exact moment where you realized it was more just a hobby?
Do I think of it as a hobby?
Or no, I mean, when you probably started off like a hobby, and then
Oh,
you
oh,
realized you want to do professional.
I see. When I first started off, did I think of it as a hobby? No, I think I always knew it was going to be a career. I got my first paycheck when I was very, very young. Someone hired me to do something for a local PBS station in San Antonio, Texas, and I was being paid to make custom monster masks for the local haunted houses when I was in high school,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I was already making money from it. I knew that that's what I wanted to do for a living, so I started charging people up front right away, and over the years, it's so one of the biggest obstacles that artists has to overcome is asking for what they're worth and finding out how to get paid for what they're worth, regardless of
Right,
whether the budget is
right.
appropriate or not. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It can be very challenging for an artist to ask their
right,
worth. Then of course you have people trying to break into the business that will underbid themselves just to get their foot in the door, and
right.
in this way damage the industry because they do that. I mean, it's nice to have a mentor to kind of direct young people into asking their price and sticking to their day rate, so that way the whole industry doesn't suffer. But there are those that they don't know their worth, and they will work for a credit or for free or whatever. And what I say to them is that you are worth something. That's why they've come to you. There's no reason for you to work for free.
Right.
They need you, and they can't do it without you. So it's best to ask for something. Never work for free. There's always a way to get compensated. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I got into the paranormal field like probably 20 years ago. Back then, you had civil equipment, but nowadays they have Photoshop and stuff like that. Got some newcomers coming out. Well, they want to do stuff and they'll fake stuff, and it's a saturated field now, and it's being run by field we don't want to read. It allows for like the clicks and YouTube hits and stuff, and it ruins it.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no. As more and more people are on this planet, yeah, our fields become saturated, and you just have to. I've just had to rise above it. I have to be
Yeah.
very, very diligent about always learning something new, and perfecting my craft and being a man of
Right.
my word and delivering what I say I'm going to do. And there's a lot of people in the field, but uh, I've become sort of an artist that people understand. I'm a man of my word. I have integrity. I do what I say I will. I'm going to deliver exactly what they need. And a special effects artist should be a key player when it comes to working on a horror film. They should be on the movie poster with everybody else's credit. You should be, the Rick Baker or a Rob Bottin or a Tom Savini. These men they were stars themselves. They were part of the starring lineup
Mhm.
of the films that they worked on, and that's I've always felt that way about my work, and I
Yeah.
always push my work to be upfront with everyone else. Yeah,
So,
especially especially if they put my work on the movie poster. I have this. Your work is on the movie poster, and then they don't even give you credit on the movie poster. It's like, what's all that about? You got a lot of directors with giant egos that think that somehow they've made the very thing that's
right.
on the movie poster, and they don't even want to give you credit with everything else.
You should have to speak all do sign it first before they put it on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I get it.
But so um, I think you might cover this. But which film the artist has biggest influence on you early on?
Which films had the biggest influences on me? Well, absolutely Godzilla, and I really enjoyed the original Poltergeist from 1982.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I get all the ILM effects, the
That's
face
my
ripping
favorite.
off, and the ghost in the hallway, and all the
Oh
corpses
yeah,
coming up at the end. It's just such a brilliant movie, and monsters and ghosts and
yeah,
demons and everything you could possibly want in one film, right?
yeah,
And it was a great story.
yeah.
And
The yellow sucked after that. Before that.
yeah, yeah, what is it? What is it when you start off at the top? There's only one way to go.
Yeah,
It's just they never jump back up to that level.
that's like Nightmare on Elm Street. Same as
Uh,
that.
Nightmare on Elm Street had its. I really like part three. That's probably
You
my
know,
favorite.
in the
Part.
Range franchise, uh, I think Nightmare on Elm Street is probably the best.
Say it again.
Nightmare on Elm Street is probably the best one, I think, for going through that. But
Yeah.
you know the Dream one?
Yeah, one, two, and three, I think worked well. After that, it was more of a gimmick. But I get to work with Danny Hassel from part 4 and 5
Oh,
in June,
that's good.
and those were fun too. I think part 5 really had a whole bunch of fun stuff in it, and it has one of my favorite transformations when Danny turns into the motorcycle Freddy demon, and it drives off that cliff. I think at the end. And it's just all of those films are they're basically special effects extravaganza. It's a big special effects dessert, and everybody's waiting for the next effect, the next kill. And I do know back in the day when they would do those movies, it wouldn't be one special effects artist doing the film. It would be like five different special effects teams, and they would give each special effects team their own kill or their own effect. That way, they were all trying to outdo each other, and everything was it was kind of almost like a contest to see who had the best special effect in that film. And I think it worked really well. The producers were very smart about that.
Yeah, that was that's very. Um, you're more fascinated by the monsters or how they're made.
You say that again.
You're more fascinated by the monsters or how they were made.
Am I more fascinated by the monsters or how they were made?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like today when I make monsters, I try to make them. I think I try to do something that looks evil when I do it. Like I'm always trying to go to like the purest form of evil, because monsters mostly are goofy. They all look kind of goofy. You put a whole bunch of like scary fangs in a monster's mouth, and like monsters can't even close their mouth. They have so many fangs. They're like, it doesn't even work that way. People don't realize, like, that's what, when I'm looking at a monster and someone's made them, like, that monster can't even chew food because of the way, it's just, so I'm always trying to like find it. I'm very fascinated by, yeah, it's like goofy. I'm very fascinated about making something look scary and something look evil. And it's very challenging, I mean, most of the stuff I've seen and I was educated with was very goofy looking, and I have to unplug myself from it. I have to unlearn all that goofiness in order to get what I really want to do. And every once in a while I'll see somebody's work and they really have captured like an essence of evil in their design, and so I'm always trying to. So I'm fascinated by both. I'm fascinated by how to make a monster and how to make a monster look scary. Make it look evil, and I mean, just personally, like the new Alien Earth series. I mean, I would love to work on that show, but I think Alien itself kind of looks like a toy, like the Mattel toy version of the Alien. You know what I mean? Like they basically have watered it down so much that now it's like, it's like a great representation of it, but it's like the Mattel toy version of the Alien from the original film. Yeah.
Another movie I thought was pretty cool, like for a transformation, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
They turned their werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
I have a strong opinion about that. I love American Werewolf in London. My favorite werewolf transformation is the Howling. I'm Team Howling. Yeah, the Howling.
Where the mouth comes out like this.
Yeah. That's
one of my favorite movies. I have to get that and look at it again. I think I have it somewhere.
But most special effects artists know that Rick Baker actually worked on the Howling with Rob Bottin. In fact, he's credited in the film as working with him to make that werewolf creation.
Yeah,
and then he went on and did American Werewolf in London without Rob. I like the Howling better because it's scarier. Then once again, it's more evil. The werewolf transformation is very evil looking and creepy. I think the werewolf transformation
more slobber.
Yeah, definitely more slobber. It's darker. It's more just brutal. I don't know. It's something about it I really love. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We started a new project. What's your creative entry point? Or story.
Yeah, well, I work very closely with the director whenever I'm working on a new project. I work very closely with them to determine what needs to be made and how it should be made and what it needs to look like. And I try to keep the director in the loop at all times. I don't want to show up on a movie set with something that they are they are unaware of. I want them to be prepared to film again and photograph it from the best possible angle. So I try to keep them part of the process the entire time. And that's my mo whenever I'm working on a new film, a new project. I just get the director involved and as keep him involved as much as possible. And if he doesn't want to be involved, that's okay. But I find it very rare that the director doesn't have an opinion about what they need. And this way, you can really be a team player and discover some new ways to look at things. It can definitely help you improve your own work.
Right? Can you walk us through the life cycle of a creature or effect from idea to execution?
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that.
Can you walk us through the life cycle of a creature or effect?
Okay, walk you through like a life cycle of the creature effect. You mean like how I would go about building it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure, I can do something like that. Well, it depends. It depends what the budget of the film is. Yeah, something. If we have the money and we have access to the actor and this sort of thing, we're probably gonna want to make some sort of model or mock up of the actor, so that way we can make a custom fit costume. And I'm probably going to, depending on what the design of the creature is, it can be made out of many different things, but you probably want to keep it light. I try to always make the head out of silicone. I think silicone well, silicone has zero shrinkage. It doesn't. Rubber or latex shrinks. It shrinks 10 to 15%.
Hmm.
So if you sculpt something and it looks amazing, and then you pour it up in rubber, it's going to shrink 15%, and you're not going to be able to tell it shrink only like 5% here and 10% there and 50% here. It's going to pick and choose wherever it wants to shrink, more or less.
Right.
It's just like this random science, right? So what you end up with is not the original sculpture you had. It's going to be slightly off. And when you pour up a mask in silicone, it has zero shrinkage. So it's almost a verbatim exact version of your sculpture. And when it comes to like face and capturing all the details that you want to put into a monster mask, I think silicone is the best way to go with that. But silicone is heavy. It's like your actual human skin or human tissue,
Right.
in its density and its weight. So you would be like wearing a whole other human being on your body if you wanted to make a silicone suit, which is impossible to move around in and run around in and this sort of thing. So the suit would have to be made out of rubber, or foam. And I sometimes I fabricate the suit out of foam, rubber, with latex skins on top of that, thin latex skins, or the whole thing can be fabricated out of foam. And we used to do this thing back in the day where we would take 3M 90 spray, or I think it was 74 at the time. I don't think they make 74 anymore. It's a contact cement in a can, and you could sculpt an entire suit out of like sofa foam, like cushion foam. And we'd spray this 74 over the top of it, and 74 would make this thin skin, like almost like a contact cement skin on top of the foam. Then you could paint latex on top of that, and you could use a solder iron, like a solder wire, and you could carve like
Oh, yeah.
wrinkles and stuff into the foam and make all these
Cool.
details. This kind of thing, depending on how elaborate you want to get with it and how much time and technique you have. But you can make a suit out of foam. You can sculpt portions of it in clay and make basically a rubber mask for your chest, a rubber mask for your arms, a rubber mask for your legs, and glue them all together and make a suit out of that, which was very common back in the day. But ultimately, the most efficient way to do it is to have a life-size positive of the actual actor who's going to wear it, and you sculpt it in clay over the top of that and make a two-piece mold that encapsulates the entire sculpture, and remove that from the sculpture and clean out the mold and put it all back together and inject you'd paint like a skin, like a latex skin inside the mold, and then you'd inject a two-part self-skinning polyfoam mold. I would use something from like BJB, like a TC274, which is the industry standard for a urethane foam. It has good give and it bends and it holds its shape and it could uphold like the wear and tear of going in the water or running around in the jungle or the woods for a monster suit, this sort of thing. And yeah, I could go like you could just the question it could go off on so many different so many different answers. You know, either foam or foam covered in latex or latex with foam backed, or you could even do it out of silicone if it was thin enough. I think if it had to be a thin skin silicone. I mean, you can make the entire thing out of silicone. I think it would be very heavy, and I know they've done it in the past, and there's some people that will get into it if they're trained and capable. They have the strength to move around in a silicone suit, but it's not really. It's not as efficient. You want something light so the actor can move around quickly and be a monster, be a creature on set. Yeah.
Right. What's the most technically challenging effect you ever pulled off?
The most challenging effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most challenging effects are, you know, doing something that is not going to work and someone asks you to do it anyways. You have these directors, they want it to be done a certain way, and you're like, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and but you do it anyways because they make you do it, and then they point the finger at you and say, why didn't it work? I've had it happen several times, and I'm like, it's science, man. It's the science what we do. Now the most challenging effects are things like removing someone's face. It's hard to make someone look like they have no face when there's a face underneath that, face. Removing someone's face or removing someone's eyes or, this kind of thing. Making monster teeth so the person can deliver dialogue is very difficult. And all these things are very challenging. And if you can work with it, if your director will work with you, you can work with them to get it right. But there's it depends. At this point I've kind of done everything once already, a couple of times. So it depends how much effort you want to put into it, and how much detail. Like for me, every special effect is important now. So it's all
Right.
it's all important. It has to every effect has to be a home run or it's a failure to me. And that alone becomes with its own challenges. I mean, I would love for every special effect to be a home run, but I work on anywhere from 5 to 10 features every year, and they're not all going to be home runs. It's just a fact, and it can be very. I have emotional hangovers when things don't go well, and even though they may be pleased with it, I know it could be better, and that's a real challenge to walk away from something when it didn't go correctly, or when it could have been better, or when only you see the obvious mistake and everybody else is happy with it and there is no second chance. Yeah.
What do what do practical effects offer that CGI simply can't replicate?
That's a great question. What do practical effects offer something that CGI will never be able to give us?
Yeah.
Handmade magic made with human hands. And when I look at a CGI effect, I know that there is a series of numbers and it's ones and zeros behind it. It's not really something that can be. It's not really it's more of a skill than it is a craft. Anybody can learn how to make an explosion or fire or smoke or this sort of thing in CGI, or put a skeleton in a character and make it walk around. But a practical effect is something that's made with your human hands, and there's just something magical about it that it never be replaced. It's like digital blood compared to practical blood. Uh, it's so it just doesn't deliver the same impact on camera. It just doesn't. No matter how good they get with it, there's something very sanitary about CGI that practical effects will always be more efficient in delivering when it comes to the grotesque and the scary and the bloody and this sort of thing. CGI is just way too sanitary, I think.
Yeah, I can when I watch the movie, I just I'm maybe a quick dog as hell, and I'm afraid to make. But do you think there um you have a issue maybe in the future of them taking over completely?
In the future, they do what?
Not take over completely. The CGI.
Oh, you think that CGI is going to take it all over? I
Yeah,
don't think so. I don't think so. No, they've been saying that for 3 decades now.
yeah.
And I remember when they were saying, "Oh, one day they're going to make movies without people," and then they did it already. They did it already. They did this movie back in like 1998 called oh, what was that movie? Something The Spirits Within. It wasn't a Resident Evil film. It was, God, I forget what the name was. It was an all CGI film. Even Resident Evil does. They have some fully CGI films with all CGI characters, but they still kept making movies with people. They still kept doing it. It's already been done. You know, yeah. People think, oh, AI is going to take over everything, but they've already done it, and people are still making. There will always be the purists that want practical effects. There will be an audience of people that love just AI stuff, and,
I'll
and
bet
the
no effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm not scared. They keep saying that they said this. Stop motion was dead, and there's still people use stop motion in their films. And
Yeah.
I just watched a stop motion movie last night by Ray Harryhausen called 20 Million Miles to Earth. I don't. You remember
Oh,
that? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
so
Mystery Science Theater did that one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So uh, it, yeah. Oh, it was Final Fantasy.
Oh
The
yeah.
Spirit Within. It was a movie that was made in 2001. It was a
Oh
fully integrated, only CGI characters of humans. It was a sci-fi film. It was supposed to be like this major breakthrough and crossover where they were only going to use CGI people, and they did that in 2001. It's 2006. They're still making movies with people. It's not going to change. There's always going to be the need for human interaction. That's because humans are interested in what other humans are doing. That's the truth. We're not interested in what computers are doing. We're interested in what other human beings are doing. That's why we go on Facebook and look at what other people are doing, and that's why we look for validation from other people. And it's the same with movies. Yeah.
do you ever have to uh, have you ever had to fight to keep an effect classical instead of digital?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I haven't. Back in 2010, I went to school to learn CGI. So I do both practical and digital myself. And what I decided to do was I really wanted to use digital effects to enhance my practical effects. And sometimes I'll be working on a film and I'll say, hey, if we shoot it like this, then I could do a little bit of digital on it and make it even better. And I explain it to the director. So I'm kind of one of these guys that are like, I will use CGI to enhance my practical effects. I think there's a place for it, to make the stuff you do even better. And I've done it many times, and I'm not afraid of them. I think there's definitely what do you call it? A beautiful combination of both of them that can be used in a way that
Mhm.
is super superior to just one or the other. Yeah.
Hmm. What's your honest take on the current state of effects in modern film?
What is my honest opinion
Yeah.
about the current state of special effects in today's world? Well, I think that a lot of special effects are not getting the credit they deserve. I think that they are overused and underappreciated, and I think that we've kind of lost the magic of trying to do something that was truly original along the way. There's a whole new generation of special effects artists that forgot what it was like growing up in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. Everybody was always trying to do something that had never been done before. And today it seems like all these young people that are entering the special effects world, they want to be they want to be recognized or congratulated for basically copying something that somebody else showed them how to do.
Right.
They're not trying to do anything new or original. And I think if we can get back to what we were trying to do from the beginning, that people will have even more respect for special effects like they used to in the past, when it used to be actual movie magic. But I see a lot of, basically, uh, how can I put this nicely? Very vague imitations of things that have been played out countless times before these days, and no one's trying to do anything new. And it's a shame because that's what it used to always be. And that, to be honest with you, is my goal. That's when I do special effects. That is my goal. People come to me because they need something that's never been done before. People come to me because they want to build something that is truly unique. People come to me when they need something that no one else can do, because they know that Joe Castro is going to look at it from a very different point of view.
Do you ever see in the movie FX?
Yes, and I saw that in the movie theater. Yeah,
How do
yeah,
you feel? Oh, cool.
I recently watched it. I think like a couple of years ago. It wasn't bad. It's more of a like a cop drama, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so, yeah.
that's actually on Prime now.
It's on Prime. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
saw it on Prime a couple of
yeah.
years ago.
I may watch it tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
think
it's a,
my wife's my more favorites.
yeah. Yeah. It's a good little film. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently watched this movie called "Don't Go in the Bait, Don't Go in the House, Don't Go in the House," and it's like an older like East Coast film slasher movie. And there's this man, he lures women into his home, and then he kills them and he keeps them. And the corpses in that movie were so realistic, and you could tell the artist that made them. I believe that Tom Savini had something to do with it. Anyways, it was at least influenced by his work. The corpses are so realistic in that film, and I think to myself, wow, if we could get back to doing stuff like that, everything would be like, people would be shocked at how like great special effects are. But I think a lot of like this stuff like with The Walking Dead and zombies
Yeah,
these days and dead bodies, they've gotten away with what an actual dead body looks like. I
yeah.
think people need to go back and look at the original source material, and
Um,
it really is powerful stuff. Even going back and watching older movies and the classics. There's a reason why we're still watching them now, because they were so good. Yeah.
yeah. So, um, how old did you?
Say that again.
How old did you?
Well, how old am I? I'm going to be 56 here in a few days.
Uh, in August, I'm going to be 58. I got to do it 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. You were born in
we,
68.
we grew up in the 70s, which was
Yeah.
awesome. 78.
Yeah. The 70s is the golden
Yeah,
age of
very fast.
special. 70s and early 80s, the golden age of
Yeah.
special effects. It's when everything
I,
was really invented and shaped.
do you Fangoria magazines?
Yeah, I bought the first Fangoria off the magazine stand. I think it
I
was
too.
78 or 79. I don't remember, but yeah, I remember
Yeah,
buying it.
book out there, yeah.
I think I got it. I think I bought it off in a Kroger. It was a Kroger market.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a Kroger supermarket. Yeah, yeah. It was in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got them at a bookstore, I think. Yeah.
In a bookstore. Yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, very well. Godzilla's on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Godzilla's on the cover. Yeah.
Yes, that's fun. Oh, I used to be able to hard magazines like that. I can't remember where else stack them so much.
And then there was also Famous Monsters of Filmland. Did you read that one?
Which one?
Famous Monsters of Filmland. Famous
Oh,
Monsters. Famous Monsters magazine.
oh man, one.
That was actually the original. That was the first one, and that was made by Forrest J. Ackerman. He was the editor,
Um,
and she's a Famous Monsters of Filmland. That was the first horror tabloid, and I'm not sure the year when he started that, but over a decade before, even before Fangoria, and that was the magazine I started. I think I was reading that one in '77. And then Fangoria came out, I think in 70, I want to say 70, no, 78,
at least
79.
the one I bought was been in the mid '80s,
Let me see here.
early '80s.
What year did the first Fangoria magazine come out? 1979. Yes. So
I think one I got was a couple of years there. So I was working at your graphics. That was in 1986 something.
you were working for Fangoria in 1986?
No, I was working at my York Graphic Services.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a computer graphic industry. I was in.
I'm gonna ask Syria. What year did the magazine Famous Monsters of Filmland first get printed? It says here. Famous 1958.
Wow.
So they're almost 30 years, 58, 68, 70, yeah, 21 years.
Years so far born.
Yeah. It was Forrest J. Most people don't realize that Forrest J. Ackerman is the first horror junkie groupie ever. You don't remember Forrest J. Ackerman?
What? Yeah, I remember.
You know Forrest J. Ackerman, he made Famous Monsters of Filmland, and he went on to do a whole bunch of different magazines. He was really close with John Landis, and if you ever watched Michael Jackson's music video Thriller, remember Michael Jackson's Thriller, and when Michael Jackson's in the movie theater eating popcorn, when he gets up to leave, Forrest J. Ackerman's sitting right behind Michael Jackson.
All right.
Yeah, he John Landis used to put. Let's say Forrest J. Ackerman used to be put in. He was in every one of John Landis's movies. Yeah, he's even in American Werewolf in London. He plays this. He's the old man. He's an old man with the woman in the park when he's running around naked with the balloon. He kills the girl's balloon. Forrest J. Ackerman's in the park. He's like with another woman and runs past this old couple, and that's Forrest J. Ackerman. Yeah,
that's one.
Yeah.
Do you approach horror more as an immersive experience or visual one?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, maybe when I first started, it was more visual, but now it needs to be emotional. Absolutely has to be emotional, because there's no connection. It has to be, you have to find some way to connect with your audience, on some sort of emotional level. Right now, we're getting ready to shoot something in June. I'm going to be working with John Dugan from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I watched that again the other day.
Okay. Yeah, he's an amazing man, and I want to do something with him that's emotional, something truly emotional.
Right.
And I think when you first start off, everybody thinks of special effects. It's a very visual field, but if you really want people to remember your work, they will be remember you will be remembered by how you make other people feel.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to figure out how to do that. It's a challenge.
Grandpa makeup in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the grandpa made. Yeah. I'm going to be recreating that makeup at a convention in June.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it on John, and it's important for me not only to repeat the makeup from the original film, but I want people to see John underneath it. John was a young man. I think he was only 18 or 19 years old when he did it, and they covered him up. You can't tell it's a teenage boy in that
Yeah.
makeup. But I want people to be able to see John through the makeup when I do the makeup on him.
That's cool.
So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, right? Putting the makeup on him, but yet still keeping a little bit of John coming through, so we know it's John. Yeah, yeah. He's a great guy. Yeah, I consider him horror royalty, right? Hollywood horror royalty. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So where do your darkest ideas come from?
Oh, that's a yeah. Where do my darkest ideas come from? That's a good question. That's a real good question. Man, that's a great question to ask me. Maybe I need to ask myself that. As I write this next piece. I grew up with a whole bunch of really horrible things in my childhood. I think I need to go back and revisit that stuff for
Yeah.
the future of my career. I think I pushed it down for so long, but there's some really dark stuff there. And in some way, all that stuff shaped my style of horror as well. My style of special effects. Um, I grew up on a goat ranch in Helotes, Texas, and I saw a lot of horrible things happen to animals and people and
Yeah.
this sort of thing. And all that stuff plays a major influence in what I do and how I go about doing it and this sort of thing. Yeah. Back in the 70s, right? It's a different time.
Yeah. Yeah. The best time.
And just, yeah, it was a way different time. Kids these days are very sheltered.
Yeah.
We were able to experience a lot of things that kids these days can't experience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a line you won't cross creatively?
Is there a line I won't cross creatively?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of things that I will not do. One, I will not use real animal parts in my special effects. I don't use real animal organs, or I won't even use real animal bones, even after the fact. I won't. I'll make fake bone, but I won't use real stuff. I think it's kind of taboo to use real animal parts,
Yeah.
guts, parts. I don't kill bugs on camera. I won't do anything like that. It's not really entertainment. I have the skill to do it without having to hurt an animal for my own entertainment, so I won't do that. And but everything else is on the table. Everything else is I don't. There's not really anything that's taboo to me. When it comes to special effects stuff, as long as I'm not hurting anybody in the process, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you keep your work feeling fresh in a genre that's constantly evolving?
Yeah. How do I keep my work fresh in a genre that's constantly evolving? Yeah, that's a great question. I try never to do. I try never to do the same thing twice. Never, even if it's cutting someone's head off. You know, just try never to do the same thing twice. Always trying to take a different approach to doing something, and that can be very challenging. It can be very challenging. Uh, but I'm very fortunate to work with people that respect me enough to give me the liberty to do that. They respect my opinion about effects, and they absolutely trust my judgment, and I'm very grateful for that. I think that ultimately, I've said this on many shows. Mother Nature is the ultimate artist, and you can find somewhere in this world that it's already been done in nature, and if you can kind of like mimic that as closely as possible, you're doing pretty good. You're gonna have a great effect. Yeah, that's how I keep it fresh. I keep it fresh by trying to make it as realistic as possible, because people have lost their way. They think they don't understand that being truly realistic is really it can be very powerful to make something that looks absolutely realistic. you know and I try my best on the budgets I have. I can't say I always accomplish it, but I
Right.
always take a look at the source material and try to make it. If you can incorporate just something
Mm.
that's absolutely realistic in there, you get people's attention.
Right? So how has working in independent film shaped your creative freedom?
How has working in what kind of films?
Independent.
Oh, how's working in independent films shaped my creative freedom?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, uh, well, working in independent films, I become more of a big fish in a little pond. When I've worked on mainstream studio films throughout my career, a few of them, and was always like a little, the tiny little cog in the wheel,
Yeah.
and so when I work on independent films, they basically delegate authority to me to oversee the look of the effects and determine how they should be built, and in some cases how they should be photographed as well. I have been very fortunate to work with a lot of directors that understand how to shoot practical effects, and I've also been very unfortunate to work with a lot of directors that have no idea how to shoot practical effects. But it definitely has given me a lot of creative freedom and the independence to try lots of new things that would never ever have been tried if I wouldn't have been given the duty of kind of reinventing the wheel in some cases. Yeah.
Have you ever had a project that completely off the rails, and how did you recover?
Okay. Have I ever, in a split second, have I ever had a project that what?
Go completely off the rails, and how did you recover?
I haven't really had a project that's been gone completely off the rails, but I have had worked on projects that have been very disappointing. Once it was all said and done, when it was edited or when I saw what they shot. So sometimes I like to be behind the camera, looking at the monitor when my special effects are filmed. But in some cases, I can't be. Sometimes I have to be operating something, or the
Uh,
crew is big enough for me to not have somebody else pump the blood or this and that. And then and we're moving so fast because it's independent film. I don't really see what they've shot until I see the edit of the movie and I realize they missed the shot or they really didn't get what they needed. And nowadays, I have them roll it back so I can see it. I have enough respect. The directors and producers respect me enough that if I say, "Will you please roll it back so I can see the shot?" They'll play it back for me so I can see it.
oh, cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I see things that most people will not see. I'll see why it's a mistake, or I'll see why it should be done again, or I'll see how it could be improved. It may not be a mistake, but there may be like some small tweak that can be done to make it really good. And when you take the time to do that, you can have some really memorable things. I mean, there used to be a time in filmmaking when you come out of a movie and go, oh, remember that scene where the guy ripped his face off like in Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Everybody remembered it. And today I think we kind of lost our way with that. Like people
Yeah.
forgot that that's what special effects were all about. They were special and they were very effective, and we need to get back to that. Yeah.
Right. So, what's been the most rewarding moment of your career so far?
The most rewarding moment of my career. I don't know if I've had I've had several, that I can think up off the top of my head. I don't know if one was more rewarding than the other. Probably getting the Guinness Book of World Record with my husband for the most kills in a slasher movie. It was
Oh,
very rewarding. We still have the Guinness.
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. And then working with Herschel Gordon Lewis, the original
Yeah.
Godfather of Gore, on the Blood Feast 2, that was very rewarding. And then he became my mentor and one of my friends before he passed in 2016.
Oh,
And and then recently I got a chance to work with one of my favorite people, Brink Stevens, on a movie in Florida called The Morning Architect, where I was a star of the film and I did all the special effects. And it was 23 days of working on this movie where it was very rewarding, and I was surrounded by a whole bunch of people I love: Debbie Rashawn, Deborah Lamb, Rhonda Shear, and Brink, and that's Alyssa Dowling, and many people, the director Joe Hollow and Bill, and just a whole bunch of great people. And uh, I just I never thought that my career would come that far, and to have my work appreciated and be a part of by so many people that I grew up and loved and respected, and to be working with so many of the other people that I really respect. And yeah, yeah. So everybody look out for The Morning Architect, and it's not morning like MOR, it's MOUR like
Yeah.
architect. And yeah, it's gonna be a great film. It's gonna be a really great film. Bill Connor and I see Harley Whalen is in it, and I'm trying to think of other people who are in it. No, I had a great team of the camera. I don't remember everybody's name, everybody's last name from the camera crew. We had, I don't know, Dan was our DP, and Juan was our gaffer, and Juan did a great job. He was also a special effects artist, and Kat, our makeup artist, and Josh, and so many people. I forget their last names. They're going to hate me for it, but and Taryn and David, our producer, and it was just a great team of people. And I'll forever be grateful for the time I spent on set with them. Yeah.
Mm. If we go back, give ourselves, younger self advice, what
Oh,
would
yeah.
it
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. Oh, that comes with a lot of stories. I mean, uh, you know, I would, tell my younger self, get 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 serious sooner. Yeah, yeah, get. I feel like I just found my way like 10 years ago. And I would have, I would have told my younger self, get serious way sooner. And I would tell myself, it's all going to be okay. There's no need to stress.
be? Mm.
And yeah, those two things I think would have really helped me as a young person. You get your shit together now, better now than later, and and don't stress so much. It's all going to be great. And, yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so,
I want to warn myself about a couple of people. I go back and say, hey, stay away from this person, this person, this person, this person. But
yeah.
yeah,
Um, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind in the world of horror effects? I mean,
oh,
you
that's a
already
good-
are, but going forward, I mean, how would you?
yeah. I've never really thought about that. I mean,
I mean, you're already a legacy.
thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Most people don't know this, but Herschel Gordon Lewis gave me the formula for the blood that he used in the original Blood Feast, which
Oh
was
yeah,
the first blood formula exploited in motion picture cinema.
that's
And
awesome.
I've never told anybody what it is, but I still use it. I use it sometimes. I'll bring it to
Yeah,
sets.
lock that up.
Yeah. And so one day I will absolutely pass that on to another young special effects artist. And I just something as simple and as fun as that would be great to leave behind. I don't know what it's going to be, but I've developed my own blood formulas over the years, uh, and it would be great to leave something like that with somebody, because like you can tell just by me saying how much joy it brings me. I would be able to pass something like that on to somebody else,
Man,
to let them have a little bit of joy in their life, so they could then pass it on to somebody else. Would be amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
not be anything crazy, just something as simple as that would be fun.
That guy was different around, but I use corn syrup and food coloring.
The corn syrup and food coloring, yeah, yeah. If people don't know, you could just get corn syrup is actually more expensive than pancake syrup, and it's the same
Oh,
thing. It's the same thing. You can buy a gallon of pancake syrup for cheap online, and use that instead. And that also has a little bit of brown in it already, so it will kind of darken the blood a little bit more already.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, and just throwing it out there. I mean, I just use pancake syrup. It's super cheap, and it's flavored maple pancake syrup. Don't you know? Not maple syrup. That's way too expensive. Just like
Right,
fake pancake syrup, regular pancake syrup
right.
works great. Do you have Smart and Final up there in Ohio?
What's that?
Do you have Smart and Final up there?
No.
Smart and Final. It's like a
Oh,
warehouse chain, like a Costco, or you
oh,
can buy
no.
you can buy the syrup by the gallon, and it's super cheap. I think I get like a gallon of syrup for like I don't know
No.
7, 8, maybe $9 now. Maybe it's more. I buy it. When I buy it a huge things. I have like probably 10 things of red food coloring around the house, under the sink, in the cupboard, in the garage. I always have my favorite brand of red food coloring because there's different colors of red food coloring. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
You can buy one brand of red food coloring and it's completely different than another brand.
I bet your hubby loves that.
Uh, you know, I mean, like I think I can see a gallon of it right from where I'm sitting right here. Yeah, no, there's all kinds of. I'm looking to see if there was one down here. There's all kind. There, people don't realize that red food coloring isn't the same red for every company that makes it.
Right.
You could buy a red food coloring, and you put it in to make blood, and it's too orange. Actually, most red food coloring is like
I know that.
a bright orange.
Yeah.
And that's why you say, oh, you got to put a little green in it, you got to put a little blue in it.
Yeah.
Like no, you don't. You just have to buy the right red food coloring. And there's a my own personal secret brand of food coloring that works perfectly. It's a beautiful crimson red, and I use that one food color. But like I work on a lot of I work on a lot of films here in LA, and there's like costume departments and wardrobe departments, and
That'd be awesome.
they don't want that blood on them because it stains, and I have to use these other bloods that are like non-staining blood, or I don't even put blood on them at all, and I have to put the blood on digitally, or I paint the blood on using like water-based paint, and it just depends what's going on. There's so many different ways to do it now.
You ever use a saran wrap layer and then do it?
Say that again. What kind?
Like press saran wrap over and then do it?
I'm sorry.
I just use like saran wrap or whatever,
oh, a saran wrap
and
on.
then use it to
You put saran wrap on, and then what do you do? How do you do that?
well, instead of getting some stain to do
Oh,
that.
I see. You put saran wrap on their skin, and then you put the blood on top of that.
Yeah.
No, I've never done that. Never done that. You mean
No.
like maybe like put like spam, like spray spam on them or something like that? It might beat up, but if you don't want blood to beat up, you can use dishwashing. You
Oh,
can use orange dishwashing liquid, and you put the food coloring in that, and it doesn't bead. But there are other brands. There's non-staining blood you can buy online. There's
oh,
a
yeah.
no taste blood, and they've come out with all kinds of stuff. But it doesn't look like real blood to me. I mean, most of the blood in movies these days doesn't even look like blood. It just looks, it's just for photographic purposes. Back in the day, it looked like actual animal blood.
Keep a eye out.
Yeah. So just depending on what they need, what the film really calls for. So we're gonna go see the Michael Jackson movie here in a bit.
Eye out. Mine beat it. There you go. There you go, Molly.
I'll say we're getting ready to go see the new Michael Jackson movie, and I know they recreated the Thriller dance in it, so I'm interested in seeing all the zombie makeup and stuff they redid for the new Michael Jackson movie. We're going to see that this evening.
Right?
Throwback to was it 1983? I think 82 or 83. Maybe it was 84, 83, 82. Yeah,
Cool.
82 or 83. Yeah. Anyways, but.
Yeah. Um. So, what time is out there?
It is 6:10.
What time is your movie?
We're going to take off here in a bit. We're going to take off here in a bit. Yeah, we're going to. My husband is in the Editors Guild, and we get to see movies through the Academy, the Television Academy. So.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm
You
looking
know,
forward to it.
so
Looking
I'll
forward to it.
be back on then after you do 3 more films.
Say
Um,
that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I'll be back on again. Um, so we can get 3 more film. After you do some more films.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to talk a little bit about the Summer of Massacre sometime with John
Yeah.
Dugan. That'll be coming out. We'll be filming that later on this year, and I'm getting ready to work on the Sam Little movie, which is a serial killer film. I start that on Monday of next week, and
What's called wrong? And
Sam Little. Sam Little. Are you familiar with Sam
Oh,
Little?
I'll see it
Yeah,
on your site.
yeah, Sam Little. And then there's also the Devil's disciple, Richard Ramirez. You remember Richard Ramirez, the serial killer, the Night Stalker? We just finished filming that film here, The Morning Architect, and I know there's one other one. What is it? I can't really say. I can't say the title right now. I haven't signed it yet. I never like to talk about it unless it's in pen.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyways, listen, Scott, I appreciate you having me on the show tonight,
Oh,
and
it's
yeah,
fun to be on there. I want to
I hope,
it again.
yeah, I hope I was entertaining, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about some stuff. I mean, yeah,
Yep. I love this kind of stuff. I'm sure you too.
excellent, excellent. Well, hey, if you need any pictures from me or anything to promote the podcast, are you gonna put a link up for it for people to see?
Yeah, and also up in the corner here, there's that QR code. You see it?
Bu- bu-
Upper
bu- bu-
corner.
It's gonna be up on my. Oh yeah. There it is. Yeah, sure.
And you send it to your website.
Can't. Oh, excellent. Oh, that's amazing. I appreciate that so very much. That's great. That's great.
Also, I want
Excellent.
to too. Well, it'll
Excellent.
also be on Spotify. It should be on iHeart
Oh,
and
nice.
I think Amazon Prime.
Excellent. Hey, and if you see any videos of mine online that you want to pull and put into the thing, you go right ahead and do that.
Oh,
Any
I'd love to do that.
trailers or whatever, any little flashes of
Yeah,
effect stuff,
I'd
go
love
ahead,
to do that. Definitely.
grab all that, and yeah, if you want to put it up in behind us or whatever while we're talking or whatever,
Well, I could do that easy next time.
Excellent.
Oh, all right.
Listen, you know how to reach.
So much on that if you and help you get back in. So you go and enjoy your movie.
Thank you, Scott. Oh, have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday evening. It was great talking to you. I'm very honored that you had me come on your show.
Oh,
And please don't hesitate to reach out and say hello if you need anything. And I hope we get a chance to connect in person sometime soon.
oh, I hope. And they do a headcast of me.
Well, if we can get you into the studio, we'll do a headcast of you, or maybe at a convention. I've done some at conventions too. So,
Yeah.
all right, Scott. Have a beautiful rest of your night. Thank you so much, my brother, and we will talk with you soon.
Okay, thanks, my friend.
Good night. Bye bye.